Kevin Curren
Quiet, please.
versus Mats Wilander.
Wilander to serve. Ready. Play. Low. Low. The ball was long.
Breeze coming in from the same direction as yesterday, southeaster. So blowing from left to right now across your screen.
Oh!
30-15.
Wind not quite as strong as yesterday. The players had a few problems yesterday, but it's just a gentle breeze today.
Out. 40-15.
Well, that was the only way Wilander was going to lose this point, if the ball clips the tape and pushes it over his racket.
Reward for effort for Kevin Curren.
Deuce.
Well, he's testing out Kevin Curren's ankle, isn't he? Two drop shots in the last 2 points. Now Curren makes good ground there.
Advantage Curren.
Well, the decision to receive on the verge of paying off for Kevin Curren.
Yes, Wilander had 40-15 in this game.
Out. Deuce. Advantage Wilander. Deuce.
lengthy opening game here in this final. Mats Wilander is very comfortable at the baseline. You see him playing a lot of the match from there.
Advantage Wilander. Cain, Wilander, 1 love, first set.
Mats Wilander, I think, thought that was an ace. You could see he's moving across there.
Love 15.
Yes, I think it was Wilander that questioned the call and not Curren, in fact.
Yes. These early games are important for Kevin Curren. He's a real confidence player, a streak player. Got to get off to a good start.
15 all. First service. Out. 30-15.
Oh, yeah,
40-15.
nice touch from Cain. Great depth.
And Warren Jakes, Kevin's longtime coach.
Don't think he answers to Warren, though, does he?
No, Charlie.
Cain, Curren, 1 game all.
So a comfortable service game for Kevin Curren.
Actually, I think he'd be feeling quite on good terms with himself. Had
Yes.
a break point against Wilander and then holds serve himself quite comfortably.
$15 love. $30. $40.
A little bit more confidence in this service game from Mats Wilander.
First service. Cain, Wilander. Wilander leads 2 games to 1. $15 lost.
Well, the first of what will probably be a dozen or so aces for Curren.
$30. 30-15.
Shake of the head. That was a pretty vicious second service there from Curren.
Game Curren, 2 games all.
Two good opening service games from Kevin Curren. A sign of nerves from him in his first Grand Slam singles final.
Be seated, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Two all.
$15 love. $30. $40. Game Wilander. Wilander leads 3 games to 2. Love 15.
A pretty routine opening to this final. 5 games having played. 3-2, no break of serve. But perhaps with the opening point here for Wilander, may be able to change that. Let's have a look at the service action of Kevin Curren. You'll notice there, ball still just on the way up as he made contact there. That's one of the reasons it's hard to pick his serve.
First service.
And also really uncoiling his body into that serve. It's really a great service. Kevin Curren a little disappointed that the first serve's missing for him in this 6th game.
15-40.
Of course, when you miss with the first serve against Mats Wilander, it really puts a lot of pressure on your first volley. You know the return's going to come back, and usually low. It sets up the first break opportunities for the number 2 seed.
30-40.
And finds it.
Juice.
Right when he wanted it. Well, he's got something in his eyes. He seems to be blinking a lot there. We've seen the service power. Now let's watch Mats Wilander's best shot. Two-handed backhand.
Juice.
Boy, that was close.
Second service.
Yes, he's made it.
Advantage Curren.
Well, that wasn't a bad second serve. Plenty of depth on it. And he was quick to move in behind it, and he was ready for this. Cut it pretty fine, but got the point regardless. Game point for Curren to level at 3-all.
Game Curren. 3 games all.
Good effort that from Curren. Down 3 break points. First break in any major singles final is always a vital one to the player getting it. Often sets the pattern for the entire match.
Quiet, please.
Oh!
Out. 15 all.
Well, excellent depth on that approach shot from Curren. No matter how good your backhand is, it's hard to pass when somebody hits it a couple of centimetres from the baseline.
Oh!
Out. 30-15. 30 all.
A nice body fake there by Kevin Curren as he moves in. Looks like he's going to hit it down the line. At the last minute, just pushes it wide. An excellent return there. So Curren, his second opportunity to break serve. Well, he hit a good return and threw up a topspin lob into the sun, so his tactics were good. Wilander was able to counter it, though.
Advantage Wilander. Cain Wilander. Wilander leads 4 games to 3, first set. Block 15.
Well, let off there for Wilander. Curren had covered the correct shot as we watch it there. Mishit that volley. And that allowed Mats Wilander surprisingly in for the point. This volley that he's hit for the set so far. Let's watch it again. Really got to stretch out wide there, and he got some shoulder into that one. Curren's volleys very much to the fore in this game. Played 2 excellent ones and a couple of errors. Big point coming up. A break point for Mats Wilander.
Yes, he's missed the vital volley. It saves it with that awesome serve.
It's a great weapon to possess, isn't it? Down a break point, and you can have the ability to bring out that serve.
Kevin Curren, 4 games all.
So the big serve saving Kevin Curren.
Neither player able to force a breakthrough. .30 minutes of play in this championship, 4-all in the first set.
Fifteen love.
An excellent point then from Curren, moving the ball around with that backhand chip shot of his, and then attacking the net when he had the right opportunity.
Out. 30-15.
See the difference in the return of serve ability of both players. Wilander continually getting the ball back and getting it back low. Curren just a little bit more erratic in that department.
Shot down the line wasn't bad.
That was one of his better returns, wasn't it?
But the smash, I think he was a bit surprised that he in fact had to play it. But Wilander really off the ground is strong. Forced to volley up though, a different matter. Out. And again, a tight service game. 4-all and deuce. This is the 4th Grand Slam final for Mats Wilander.
Advantage Wilander. First service. Game Wilander. Wilander leads 5 games to 4. New ball, please. Love 15.
Oh, great movement in that point by Mats Wilander. Very quick on his feet around the baseline there, getting set for those passing shots.
Out. 15-all.
Let off for Curren.
30-15.
Oh, superb. Well wide of the sideline when he struck the ball. Wilander just arrowed that right into the corner for the winner. 30-all, danger time for Curren. Serving to level up here at 5-all. Just one hitch in that big serve here is going to put him down set point. Works when he wants it though. First ever Grand Slam final. Semi-finalist at Wimbledon last year. He beat Jimmy Connors to make the semis.
Kevin Curren, 5-4.
Pretty tight opening set for this singles final in the Australian Open. 5-all, no break of serve, but there's been break opportunities in 4 games. Wilander serving quite a few into the body of Kevin Curren, which is good tactics. Curren likes to take a fairly decent swing and go for his return of serves, and that's difficult to do if the ball's cutting into your body.
Had the opening there, Curren, just overhit the ball. Game point for 6-5 to Wilander.
James Wilander. Wilander leads 6 games to 5.
That's the shot that Curren can't afford to miss. Two in a row put him down 15-30 and in danger.
He can be just a little loose at times on the volley.
30 all.
Well, that was a chance for Mats Wilander. He was forced to go for the off backhand, which is from where he was. Wasn't the one he would have preferred, and he found the tape. He's got set point now.
30-40.
Miss-hit volley there, going straight back to Wilander. Trouble for him to flip it back and give him his first set point.
Yeah, sure.
What a volley off set point.
By gee, that took some courage. Let's face it, Alan, if he hadn't cut it as fine as he did, Wilander would have made the shot. Brave effort to save the set point. Oh, another one.
Kevin Curren.
Got to hand it to him. He doesn't have any hesitation in going for these.
Game Curren, 6-game all. Tie-break, Wilander to serve.
Well, a good effort there from Kevin Curren. Take this first set to the tie-break. Mats Wilander's had slightly more opportunities to break
Please
serve.
proceed to the eastern stand, thank you.
I guess on that score he'd have to just start a slight favourite in this tie-break. A lot will depend, of course, though, on the first serve of Kevin Curren.
One, 0, Wilander.
Well, really, that was an outstanding shot. We've seen it many times, but particularly at that instance, that second serve of Kevin Curren hit the line. And yet Wilander was still able to put it away. Well, Kevin Curren missing with the first serve and his 2 points there. You saw the result. Now camera directly behind Mats Wilander. Excellent backhand work again from Wilander. 3-love in this tiebreak.
4-2, Wilander.
Well, that time the big first serve getting into play, setting up the volley for Curren. So he's sneaking back into this tie-break from 4-love down, that double fault at that point giving him an opportunity to hang in there.
Wilander still with a point advantage and 2 serves to come.
Quiet, please. Thank you. Out. 5-3, Wilander.
So that squares it up.
Yes, back on serve. It's a great comeback from 4-love down.
Yeah, especially against Wilander. So in fact, it's now a set point for Kevin Curren. Mats Wilander had 1 set point against Curren's serve in the 12th game. Wasn't able to attain it and so went to the tiebreak. And now, after being down 4-0, Curren has set point.
Well, he's got it.
Cain and first set Curren, 7 games to 6.
The first serve got Curren back into that tie break. He didn't get it in the first 2 points and lost them, and then won the next 4 points on his serve behind the first serve going into play.
$30.
Wilander will really have to concentrate now. That first set looked to be his.
$40.
This hit cost Curren likely winner there.
Game Curren, 1-love, second set.
Off to a good start in the second set. His spirits really would be lifted.
Oh!
Mats Wilander, I think, sort of won that first set.
I think Wilander knows that too.
15 love.
One of the great things about Wilander and most of the Swedes is their temperament. And so even though it's easy for us to say he should have won the first set, and he probably knows it as well, he's got the capability just to shut that completely out of his mind.
$30. $40. First service. Game Wilander, 1 game more.
Well, Wilander not suffering any letdown after dropping the first set. Still no break of serve.
Quiet, please. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Love 15. Love 30. Love 40.
Well, perhaps this will be the first break of serve this time. Wilander's had quite a few opportunities, but he's never been at love 40.
That's the break. That's the start that Wilander wanted in the second set.
Wilander leads 2 games to 1, second set. Love 15. All.
Well, that was an opportunity there for Curren. The second serve made the right move, attacked the net, had a fairly straightforward volley and netted it.
And as you'd expect, now that Wilander has the early break in the second set, he's tightening right up. He knows that he can go on and take the set with just one break.
Love.
Oh!
15 all. $30-15.
Out.
30 all.
Curren got to watch his net play, starting to be a little loose. Some of those half volleys and low volleys.
$30-40.
Not too big a swing on that one. Costs him very dearly, and he's down. Point for a further break.
Oh!
Deuce.
Oh! Out!
Advantage Curren.
Still hits a pretty heavy second serve, Kevin Curren. It's not that easy to put it away.
Oh!
Mats Wilander makes a couple of errors off the second serve.
Oh!
Deuce. Advantage Curren. Cain, Curren. Wilander leads 3 games to 2. 15 love. Wait, please. Thank you.
Out.
15 all.
So Curren sticking to his game plan. He's going to try to get to the net whenever he possibly can. Drawing a few errors on the passing shots from Wilander.
30-15.
Out.
40-15. Game Wilander. Wilander leads 4 games to 2.
And Wilander winning 2 points in that game, serving into the body on that backhand side. Curren just takes a little bit too big a swing on that shot. 2-4.
$15 long.
Out.
15 all.
Out.
30-15.
Out.
Right, the luck is with Curren.
40-15.
He was going out of it, hadn't clipped the tape, caused the ball to drop sharply. 40-15, game points for Curren.
Out.
Game Curren. Wilander leads 4 games to 3. New ball, please. $15 long. $30.
Kevin Curren, you could see disappointed with himself there. He really hasn't come up with too many passing shots. A little erratic in that department.
Got that one though.
30-15.
Yes, a good returner serve here at Wilander's feet to set it up. Gave him plenty of time to roll that one across court.
30 all.
This is as close as Curren has been able to get on Wilander's serve so far in the second set. Oh, he's got a break back chance.
30-40.
Wilander going for that serve into the body on the backhand side there. Didn't quite place it where he wanted it, and Curren was able to run around, take it on the forehand.
Wrong decision.
Well, he had no. I think he just didn't play a nice shot on it. He had the opening there. He had Wilander off balance, but pretty tall. He just didn't get down to the shot at all. I think just a bit anxious. Lovely shot, that one.
Well, having just said that he was a little erratic with the passing shots, he's come up with 2 beauties in this game
Right,
so far.
Yes. Well, he had to eventually. He'd missed an awful lot.
Cheers. Second service. Advantage Curren.
Well, that's a surprise. You don't often see Mats Wilander missing a backhand just during a baseline rally.
Brings up the third opportunity for Curren here in the 8th game.
Well, Wilander showing that he can do a Curren. Come up with an ace on break point down.
Advantage Wilander. Cain Wilander.
Well, that's a relief for the Swedish player.
Wilander leads 5 games to 3, second set.
Yes, Kevin Curren certainly producing his best game for some time as far as ground strokes are concerned. Wilander just changing rackets, or just, I'm not sure if he changed or not. He went to test another one, tested it, and then did it so quickly. I'm not sure if he kept the one he was playing with or in fact changed.
Love. Out. 15 all. 30-15.
Out.
30 all.
Lost it.
40-30.
So this court pretty fast at the moment. Looks like Wilander's going to get that one, but the speed there of the bounce shot through.
First service.
Fortunately for Mats Wilander, it was a let. Oh, gee, he cracked that serve. And that
Cain, Curren. Wilander leads 5 games to 4. Love 15.
Pressure on Wilander, but cool as a cucumber, comes up with a passing shot.
Well, something's bothering him back in that northern end. We watch a
Could the
replay.
waiters behind the boxes on court please remain still during play? Thank you.
Some of the waiters servicing the courtside boxes. Their movement bothering Mats Wilander. Two excellent first serves from Wilander, give him set point.
Game and second set. Wilander, 6 games to 4. 1 set all.
Fairly predictable. And as we suggested after getting the early break,
Quiet, please.
although Curren really did have tremendous opportunity to get back in the 8th game.
15 love.
So all square at a set all after nearly an hour and 30 minutes of play.
30 love.
Wilander disinclined to walk initially. But there was no doubt about the serve. Ace number 7 for Curren.
First topspin lob that Mats Wilander has been successful with. Tried about 4.
Juice.
Well, he just charges across to the forehand. He really was dead, just had to make a guess. Guessed the right way, caught Curren by surprise. And from 40 love, back to Juice.
Advantage Wilander.
Well, certainly worth another look. A low return. And look at that passing shot. 2 down the line this game from the backhand. The topspin lob. Great recovery. And from 40 love, he's now got a break point.
Out. Juice. Advantage Curren.
Well, Curren mistiming that volley. But fortunately for him, it dropped short.
Oh.
Kevin Curren, 1 love, 3rd set. love.
Just to give you an example how difficult it is to break Kevin Curren's serve. Mats Wilander's had break opportunities in 6 games and he's broken serve once.
First service.
The way he returns, if he's got break point in 6 games on most players, he would break 3 or 4 times.
Willing that one over, but he didn't quite will hard enough. Talking about returns.
Yes, certainly one of the best forehands that Curren has hit. And now a chance for Kevin Curren on a second service. Oh, interesting rally there. The contrasting backhand styles, the two-handed heavy topspin from Wilander and the conventional slice from Curren.
And Wilander hitting out over the baseline and bringing up break points for Kevin Curren. Second game of the third set.
Wilander did well to pick up that net cord off the return, but wasn't able to recover in time to pick up the next shot. So the vital break in this third set with Kevin Curren. His knees there and a full dive there. Almost made it. He knows what a vital game this is for his chances in this final. Set all, he's got the early break in this third set. Needs to hang on to this service here. Great return there from Wilander.
Off an excellent second serve from Curren.
That was his point all the way as soon as that return was struck. Great return.
Help!
Great play by Cain. Great half volley, pick up on the backhand. Keep him in the point.
Yes, he did well there.
Great play by Cain.
His half volley is actually quite a good shot. The reason is, I think, he's so used to playing it. First foot fault called on him there, but the reason he's used to playing it, he's got such a big first serve that if the opponents do rebound it and time it right, it comes back so quickly to him off the pace of his serve that he's only taken a few steps in and therefore plays more half volleys than other players.
Second service.
Just watching him throughout this tournament, he doesn't miss too many of them. Well, that foot fault there on the first serve and the eventual double fault to give Mats Wilander the opportunity to break back. Not many doubles though, as you can see. Only 5 served in the match. "26 games of tennis played for 5 double faults. That's not too many.
Cain Wilander. Currently it's 2 games to 1.
Curren attempting the drop shot there, didn't really get down to it. And a free point there for Wilander.
Out. 49. Game Wilander, 2 games all.
Mats Wilander quickly evening this third set.
It's the first love game for a long, long time. A set all and 2-all. The 84 Australian Open final.
Love 15.
There we got a good example of the preparation and how well Mats Wilander hits through that two-hander. Racket back nice and early and then really hitting through the ball.
Love 30.
Just a couple of games ago, this looked very promising, this third set for Kevin Curren. He's led 2-love. Wilander fought back to 2-all and now love 30 on Curren's service.
15-30.
And the service action of Kevin Curren, hitting the ball on the way up, getting tremendous power into it. Really uncoils his body up and into the serve.
All.
Missing with a lot of first serves, Curren.
Yes,
He's been serving in patches. Really scintillating games. And then games like the last couple where just a little erratic with it.
Advantage Wilander.
Big chance now for Mats Wilander, the defending champion.
Wilander still staying well back for the second serve from Curren because he still hits it with an awful lot of power.
Game Wilander. Wilander leads 3 games to 2, third set.
Not only has he broken back, but now has a break of serve in hand.
Very neat racket work there from Wilander. Let's watch it again. On his toes, stretching across there and just pushing it back into the vacant forehand court. Well, couldn't reach it. Curren unleashes a big forehand there. Got the ability to produce some shots like that. Charlie Jakes looking on, a little concerned, but that was a great pickup from Mats Wilander. Tremendous power in the return. Really did well to scrape that one up. As aces, Kevin Curren haven't moved much. He's been on 6, 7 for quite a while.
40-30.
Good attacking tennis late in this game from Curren, 40-15 down. He's forced his way into the net twice successfully.
Forced the error from Wilander. And it's break point for Kevin Curren.
Wilander doing well to stay in that point as long as he did.
That's what you call heavy hitting.
That was a good effort from Curren because he was down 40-15 in that game. He kept the pressure on. He attacked when Wilander stayed back. Came up with some heavy passing shots from the deuce point. So 3-all, 1 set all. Say this third set's proving to be a little unusual. Previous 2 sets we saw 1 break of serve, and in the 6 games played in this third set we've had 4. Of course, as you mentioned, Gary, the problem for Curren in this third set, the first serve just won't fall for him.
No, and he's getting very annoyed with himself. Which is something that he can't allow. He doesn't want to ease off on the pace because Wilander will really take it apart.
Love 40.
3 chances for 4-3 now for the defending champion.
First service. First service.
He's looking disgustedly at the tape. He can't believe the number of times he's catching the tape with his first serve. Very, very close, that second service.
Curren clinging to this game. 2 break points saved. But another looming large. First serve, will it go in this time? Scampering all over the baseline, but Curren positioning himself in the right spots at the net.
Advantage Curren.
It's been a great effort from Kevin Curren in his last 2 games. He broke back from 40-15 down and loved 40 on his serve here, and now got game point. And having to do it all on the second service.
Game Curren.
Well done.
Currently 4 games to 3.
The amazing thing is that Curren has always looked to be up against it, but here he is at a set all, 4-3.
Out. 15 long. All.
Up in Nystrom and Swedish coach John Sjogren.
Out. 30-15.
Oh, what a great picture from Curren behind the baseline.
Well, he's always dangerous. He's always going for the shots. Every now and then produces some like that. Big point here.
Out. 40-30.
Again, Wilander slicing the serve into the body there to Curren. He's done that a lot on important points, particularly on the deuce court.
Deuce. Danny Wilander.
Well, that was an amazing shot Mats Wilander played off that dead midcourt. He had absolutely no other shot that he could play here. The ball runs along the tape, right next to the net. Could only hit it high. What a shot.
It's game point for Wilander. He almost has no right to have it, but you've got to hand it to him. He got out of that incredible situation.
Well, Wilander coming in on a topspin forehand here, which sets the ball up. Allows Curren to pass him. I think he'd have been better off slicing that ball on the approach shot. Would have kept low.
Danny Wilander. Five, please. Two.
So Wilander's had 3 game points in this game as well. Game points all over the place. Last few games, but hasn't won the games.
Break point for Curren. This should give him 5-4 with his serve to follow.
Moves around this quickly to take it on the forehand and then whips it across court.
And if his first serve had gone off the boil a little, he certainly started to crack some passing shots.
Two.
Look of anguish on the face of his girlfriend there, Ginger. She plays every point.
He's going to be exhausted by the end of the day. Great cut from Kevin Curren. It's the sort of shot you see Wilander catching people with all the time.
Well, it's a high bouncing shot, so it's going to be hard to hit a passing shot. So instead, he elects the topspin lob. Played it superbly. Second break point. Gets it this time.
Puts him up.
New ball, please.
5 games to 3, rather.
Currently 5 games to 3, third set.
And serving with new balls, but these last 3 games have really been remarkable. Mats Wilander
Has had all the chances.
He had 40-15 at 3-2 and lost the game. Love 40 at 3-all and lost the game.
Quiet, please.
And then
Thank
3
you.
ads there at 3-4 and lost the game. So he's had plenty of chances.
Love 15. Oh! all. $15.30.
Never happened on a normal court. Never.
2 break points now for Wilander, and he's got to win one of these games with all the opportunities that he's giving himself. Surely. Curren not being able to take advantage of the new balls on his serve. Not yet.
Still game point for Wilander. As you said, Alan Stone, he's had about 10 game points now in 4 games.
First service.
That's the shot that Curren just takes too big a swing on. When the ball's coming into your body like that, you must shorten the backswing and just block the ball back.
Wilander in the attacking role, good serve and volley, quickly to 40 love. And he's got a whole clutch of game points here to level at 5-all.
Backhand not coming completely off the centre of the racket, but winner nonetheless.
First service.
Fine topspin lob there from Curren, and surprisingly he's had the better of the topspin lobs of the 2 players in this match so far.
Cain, Wilander, 5 games all.
A very tight final, this Australian Open. Set all, 5-all.
In 1983, of course, it was Mats Wilander in straight sets over Ivan Lendl. 6-1, 6-4, 6-4. There hasn't been a 5-set final since 1977.
30 love.
And that was the Avilas Gerolaitis John Lloyd final. Gerolaitis the winner, 6-2 in the 5th. Dino Vilas, the champion, in 4 sets in 78, in straight sets in 79. Brian Teacher won it in straight sets in 1980. Creek in 4 sets in 81 and Creek again in straight sets in 82.
Kevin Curren.
Lovely volley by Kevin Curren.
Curren leads 6-5, third set.
Oh, he could
Love
have.
15.
Was well in. He was expecting a low passing shot, and Curren got much higher than he was trying to, but the topspin certainly bringing it down.
all.
Well, good stretch.
30-15.
The second tie-break in the match. First set went to a tie-break. Curren was down 4 points to 0 and got back to win it.
I think you could accurately predict who's going to win this one based on what we've seen in this third set.
He was there for the shot.
Well, not the best shot selection to try in the tie-break.
I thought he probably could have gone with the volley across court. Would have been the best thing for him to consider, but he's just tried to cut the ball back over the net. Failed to do so.
Usually try to play more percentage tennis in tie breaks because every point is so vital. You notice that's what Wilander did there. First serve in, first volley deep.
Wilander.
And now that Mats Wilander has a nice lead here, he can afford to hit out on a couple of shots. Pressure's on his opponent. Oh, gee, we saw this.
That's right, he was under pressure the first time round in the tie-break, wasn't he?
Yes.
No first serves for Kevin Curren. Will we see a repeat? Is it possible he can do it again?
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, he was down 2 points on serve, 4-0 in the first tie-break.
I think the odds of winning 2 tie-breaks in the final of a Grand Slam event from 4 points to love down pretty slim.
Out. 4-1, Wilander. 5-1, Wilander.
And again, Wilander going with the percentage play. Didn't try to do anything with that volley at all. He just blocked it back down the centre. Saying to Kevin Curren, well, at this vital stage, if you can pass me, that's too good.
Wilander.
Okay, all the set points now with Mats Wilander to go to a lead of 2-1. That was a bullet, but I think he's going to run out of ammunition before he gets out of this set. So for all that, Mats Wilander still has 3 set points.
Yes, he's out of ammunition now. It's no longer his serve.
Please. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please refrain from making comments during play? Thank you.
Well, that time cross-court with the forehand. Mats Wilander's come up with some fine passing shots down the line. Watch this one. Deep into the corner, and he whips it across court.
40.
Confident start to this 4th set. Love game.
Game Wilander, 1-4 set.
And also the United States, Canada, Great Britain, France, Italy, Germany, Hong Kong, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan and Japan.
Love 15.
Not to mention 7 hours a day, every day live here throughout Australia for the past 2 weeks.
Got a bit of bounce about his court movement. Quickly up to that. See, he's eager. He can sense a chance here to get an early break in this 4th set. Curren's still not happy with his first serve.
Out. 15-30.
Mats forced into playing a one-handed backhand passing shot there.
30 all.
So Curren coming back from love 30 to 30 all, behind 2 first serves in.
It's 3 out of 3 in and takes him to game point. Just goes to show you how much difference it does make to his game.
It was one of the wildest ones I've ever seen him hit. Really not surprising that he would double fault there. That first one had to be wide by, I don't know, at least 2 meters.
Advantage to Wilander.
Wilander now at break point here.
Choose. Advantage Curren.
That's the first topspin lob winner that Mats Wilander has hit in the match. It's taken into the 4th set for him to be able to produce it.
Advantage Curren.
Curren making good use of the breeze this game, serving from the southern end. That first court, the breeze helping his swinging slice service.
Cheers.
Not making any. He's made 2 in this game. Curren walking back pretty slowly. Playing 2.5 hours in this final.
Oh, really slammed that.
He's really anticipated well there. Serve. It was a very important game for him.
Please be seated, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Could have easily suffered a letdown there after dropping that very tight 3rd set in a tie break. And before he knew it, be just about out of the match. He did well to hold serve. 1 all.
Out. 15 long.
Unlucky, clever shot, but just wide. ball into the corner for a winner. A lot of hit and miss about Curren, isn't there? They clear the net, they stay hit, but quite often he hits the net. No need for a lot of power there, just great touch from Curren.
Wilander wisely going to the forehand there at 30 all after those two backhand winners from Curren. Really a smart player, Mats Wilander.
Has just made the shot.
Well, this one, there's supposed to be a topspin lob, but in the end it turned out a great shot. It fell very awkwardly, low with a lot of spin. And difficult for Wilander to come up with the drop volley. He ended up losing the point.
Out. Advantage Wilander. Cain, Wilander. Wilander leads 2 games to 1, 4th set. Out. Off 15. The ball was good.
Quickly overruled by John Egan.
Yes, he's.
Let's watch it again.
The ball is good. Yep, Curren's not going to argue at all.
And danger time again for Curren. Did well to fight his way out of trouble in his opening service game of this 4th set.
Love 40.
Curren in a hole yet again.
Cain, Wilander. Wilander leads 3 games to 1.
Wilander now in good shape in this match in his efforts to retain his Australian Open singles crown.
Quiet, please.
2-1 he leads, and 3-1 in the fourth set.
Sort of precision that could carve Kevin Curren up completely in this set. That would clinch the title for Mats Wilander.
First service. Hold the balls down, please, ball boys. Hold the balls down, please. Ball boy.
Wilander wants to serve, and there are no balls at that end of the court. Now we're right.
Net cord, Wilander just scrambles it up. Curren there, plenty of time for that backhand passing shot. Curren knows the importance of this game. And he played that point well.
15-30.
He's content to just rally the ball until Wilander hopefully dropped one short.
Yes, an awful lot of patience on the part of Kevin Curren that time. On the line.
30-40.
But 4 times, 5 times, I think Curren's caught him with that shot.
Yes, that was a perfect slice lob there, very attacking one. Had to be flighted perfectly. Gives him a break back point.
Cheers.
Wilander going to the forehand. Curren goes for his returns regardless, forehand or backhand, but success rate a little better on the backhand.
First service. Advantage Wilander. Cain, Wilander. Wilander leads 4 games to 1, 4th set.
He'll need plenty of those to get himself out of trouble this time. Curren took the first set in the tiebreak. Wilander came back to take the second 6-4 and the third in a tiebreak.
15 all.
Well, the serve was working fairly well for him early in the match, Curren, but he hasn't worked for him well enough in the last couple of sets. Two aces this game, but of course it now depends on his return of serve if he wants to get back into the match.
Cain, Curren. Wilander leads 4 games to 2. New balls, please.
Well, that's the best service game that Kevin Curren's come up with for quite some time. Wilander, they'll be serving at 4-2 with new balls.
Right, please. Low.
I don't think we're going to see Mats Wilander attempt anything outrageous from here on in. He's got the open in his keeping. I think he's going to keep playing his percentage tennis.
30 low. Help. 30-15.
Curren really rushing that shot.
And 4-2, 40-15. Wilander looking like a winner.
Game Wilander. Wilander leads 5 games to 2. 4th set. First service.
Kevin Curren has served 20 times in the match. In 12 of those games, he's been down break points or a break point.
Lot 15.
Yes, well, at the start of the match, Peter, I think everybody felt that if he served at his best, he could really have a chance of beating Wilander. That if he didn't serve at his best, which is how it's worked out.
You have to serve well to Wilander, don't you?
Yes, if he didn't serve at his best, then Mats Wilander's all-round game would prove superior. So it's been a very entertaining and interesting contest, particularly that third set.
Lot 30.
Once Curren lost that, you could see the sting go out of his play.
Not entirely unexpectedly. Yes, that set took nearly an hour. It had gone Curren's way. Maybe the result could have been different.
No.
So 3 match points. 3 match and championship points to Mats Wilander.
Quiet, please. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Wilander wins his second successive Australian Open at Cain, defeating Kevin Curren of South Africa in 4 sets. Standing ovation from this huge crowd here. It's been a great final. Mats Wilander indeed a most worthy winner.
Wilander wins the match 3 sets to 1, 6-7, 6-4, 7-6, 6-2. Thank you.
Well, firstly, I'd just like to say that congratulations, Mats. Played a good match. You saw too many returns come back today for me. I needed Fred Perry's volleys out there. But I'd like to thank the sponsors, Marlboro, for supporting the tournament again, and it's been a great success, and Brian Tobin, his staff, and all the organisers who have also made a great success. And finally, my girlfriend Ginger Money and Warren Jakes and the family, the Applebooms, whom I've stayed with for the 2 weeks, who have helped me make it to the final. Thank you very much.
Well, first I'd like to thank everybody that came to watch this event for 2 weeks. And I would like to thank the organization. I think they've done a great job again. And I also, as Australia beat us in Davis Cup last year, I really hope that everybody wishes Sweden good luck next week against the United States. And I would like to congratulate Kevin for his 2nd place. And I hope I can come back next year. Thank you very much.